She walked in carrying a photograph like it was made of spun glass. Victoria Moreau. I'd never seen her before, but I knew that look. The hollowed-out eyes of someone who'd been grieving too long. "I need you to recreate this exactly," she said, placing the photo on my counter. "Every curl, every pin, exactly like this." I looked at the photo. A younger Victoria, radiant, laughing at some beach restaurant. Her hair in an elaborate updo with tiny braids and pearls woven through. "This is beautiful," I said. "Special occasion?" "The last dinner with my husband." Her voice was flat. 5 years ago today, before he died. I've styled hair for many widows, but something about the way she said exactly made my skin prickle. "It has to be perfect," she continued, sitting in my chair. "I'm going to see him today." That's when I noticed the pills in her purse, the letter addressed to whoever finds me. Oh God, she was planning to join him. As I started sectioning Victoria's hair, she told me their story. David Morrow, real estate developer, the love of her life. "We were only married 3 years," she said. 3 perfect years. Then the accident. "I'm so sorry," I said, beginning the first braid. "Boating accident. They never found his body, just pieces of the yacht." She touched the photo like she could reach through time. "Everyone said I needed to move on, date again. I'm only 35, they said. But how do you move on from perfect?" I'd heard this before. The way grief freezes people in time, makes saints out of ordinary men. "Tell me about him," I said, working the pearls into her hair. "David was everything. Romantic, generous. He'd leave roses on my pillow, surprise trips to Paris. He treated me like a queen." "Sounds wonderful." "He was. Was. She caught herself. "Sorry, sometimes I still talk like he's..." She trailed off, staring at her wedding ring, still wearing it after 5 years. Victoria told me about her rituals, weekly cemetery visits, monthly donations to charity in his name. His study kept exactly as he left it. "I even pay his cell phone bill," she laughed sadly. "Can't bear to hear this number is no longer in service." "That must be expensive," I said, focusing on matching the photo exactly. "Money's not an issue. David had excellent life insurance. He always said..." She paused. "He said if anything happened to him, I'd be taken care of." $3 million, she whispered. "That's what his life was worth. I'd trade every penny to have him back." I kept working, but something nagged at me. The way she kept checking her phone, the way her hands shook, not with grief, but with anticipation. I was halfway through the elaborate style when Victoria's phone rang. She looked at the screen and went white. I need to take this," she said. "Of course." She fumbled with the phone, accidentally hitting speaker. "Vicky?" A man's voice, deep, familiar. "It's me." "I know," she whispered. 5 years, baby, just like we planned. I can't do this anymore. Today's the day." "But no buts. You've played the grieving widow perfectly. The insurance investigators stopped watching 2 years ago. It's time." "David," her voice cracked. "David? David?" "Meet me at the old place, sunset, with your passport. And Vicky, I love you. These 5 years apart nearly killed me, but we did it, baby. We're free." The line went dead. Victoria's eyes rolled back. She fainted. I caught her before she hit the floor, got her to the break room couch, cool cloth on her forehead. When she came to, she looked at me with wild eyes. You heard, she said. It wasn't a question. Your husband is alive. She laughed, hysterical, broken. Alive. Yes, hiding, waiting, while I've been... She couldn't finish. Victoria, what's going on? And then it all came out. The debt, $3 million to the kind of people who break kneecaps, then work their way up. David's failed developments, the threats, the plan. Fake his death, collect the insurance, pay off the mob, then disappear together. But you had to prove grief, I said, understanding dawning. 5 years, that's what the lawyers said. 5 years of perfect widowhood before they'd stop investigating. I had to be watched, followed, tested. And you did it. I did it too well. Her voice broke. Angel, I became her, the widow, the grieving wife. I lived it so completely that I forgot it was a lie. Victoria told me how it started. The funeral with no body, the tears that were supposed to be fake but felt real, the sympathy that felt earned. The first year, I knew he was out there, somewhere, waiting. It kept me going. And then I started visiting his grave, the empty grave, started talking to him, told him about my day, my dreams, my loneliness. You fell in love with your own lie. I fell in love with the memory I created, the perfect husband who died loving me, not the man who put us $3 million in debt to criminals, not the man who asked me to live a lie for 5 years. She looked at me desperately. The David I mourn, he never existed, but he's more real to me than the one waiting at our old apartment. I went back to finish in her hair. What else could I do? My hands worked automatically while my mind raced. What are you gonna do? I asked. I don't know. For 5 years, I knew this day would come, dreamed about it, our reunion, our escape. But now, she gestured to herself. The black dress, the memorial jewelry, the wedding ring she'd worn to a marriage that technically didn't exist anymore. I'm not the same person. And he, God, what has he become? 5 years of hiding, of being someone else. Will I even recognize him? Victoria, I said slowly, you said sunset at the old place. Our first apartment where he proposed. That's in 3 hours. I know. So why the elaborate hair? Why recreate that night? She met my eyes in the mirror. Because I need to remember who I was before I became the widow. I need to see if that woman still exists. I was placing the final pearl when something caught my eye. A man across the street, standing under an awning out of the rain, watching the salon. Tall, beard, different hair color, but something about the way he stood. Victoria, I said carefully, I know, he's been there an hour. That's him? She nodded. He couldn't wait, always was impatient. I looked closer. He wasn't alone. A woman stood beside him, young, pretty, pregnant. Victoria, I see her. Her voice was ice. Who is she? I asked, though we both knew. His new life, apparently. Victoria laughed bitterly. 5 years of playing dead. New identity, new woman, new baby on the way. Maybe it's not. It's exactly what it looks like. She pulled out her phone, showed me texts I hadn't seen before. He's been with her 2 years, married, technically, as his new identity. Then why call you back? The money. He needs my signature to access the offshore accounts. That's all I am now, a signature. The man outside shifted. The pregnant woman kissed his cheek, then walked away. He remained, watching, waiting. "He's going to pretend she doesn't exist," Victoria said. "Play the devoted husband who waited 5 years, get my signature, then vanish again. You could expose him, tell the police, and go to jail myself? Insurance fraud, conspiracy, I'd lose everything. So what do you do?" She studied her reflection, the elaborate hair, the pearls, the ghost of who she used to be. "I need scissors," she said. "What?" I stepped back. "Scissors, now." "Victoria, your hair is perfect. It's exactly like the photo." "That's the problem." She grabbed the scissors from my station. "I've been preserving a woman who died 5 years ago. Time to bury her." She started hacking. Beautiful curls fallen, pearls scattering on the floor. "Victoria, stop! Let me!" "No, I need to do this." Chunk by chunk, she destroyed the elaborate style, cut closer and closer to her scalp, tears streaming, but hands steady. 5 years of perfect grief, 5 years of living for a ghost. You know what the real joke is, Angel? What? I was happier as a widow than I ever was as a wife. When she finished, her hair was choppy, uneven, maybe 2 inches all over. She looked raw, new, real. "Now fix it," she said. "Make me someone new." I worked in silence, evening out her brutal cuts, creating something sleek, modern, powerful, nothing like the woman in the photograph. "What are you gonna do about him?" I asked. "Watch." She pulled out her phone, typed a message. "David, my love, I can't wait to see you. Meet me at the bank, bring the papers, let's finish this properly." Send. We watched him check his phone, saw him smile. He walked away, probably heading to the bank. "The bank?" I asked. "Where I'll be meeting with the insurance investigators with proof he's alive." "You're turning him in?" "I'm setting us both free. He'll run, he's good at that, but he'll run without the money, and I'll face whatever comes. Prison maybe, but at least I'll face it as myself." When I finished, Victoria looked like a different person. Sharp, fierce, alive. She paid, tipped generously, then stood at my door, looking at where David had been standing. "You know what's funny?" she said. "I spent 5 years mourning a man who never existed, and he spent 5 years becoming someone else. We're both strangers now. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe." She walked out into the rain. No umbrella, no looking back. The pearls from her hair still scattered on my floor like tiny headstones. I was closing up when she walked in. The pregnant woman, not pregnant anymore, carrying a baby. "I'm looking for Victoria Morrow," she said. "I need her signature on some papers." "I don't know any Victoria Morrow," I said truthfully. The woman I knew had legally changed her name. "She was here 6 months ago, the day my husband disappeared. A lot of people come through here." She shifted the baby. "Look, I know what you're thinking, but I didn't know he was married. He told me his wife died, showed me a death certificate and everything. Seems like he was good at fake deaths." She laughed bitterly. "Yeah, good at fake everything. Fake names, fake love, fake futures. What happened to him? Gone, vanished when he realized the insurance money was frozen. Left me with a baby and a marriage certificate that isn't worth the paper it's printed on." Another victim, another woman who fell for a ghost. "I'm sorry," I said. "I really don't know where Victoria is. If you see her, tell her I'm sorry. tell her we were both widows, just in different ways. She left, another victim of the same man, another widow who didn't even know she was one. I never saw Victoria again, but I heard things. That she served 6 months minimum security, that she wrote a book about grief and identity, that she helps other women trapped in financial abuse. Sometimes I wonder about David, if he found another woman to die for, another widow to create. But mostly I think about Victoria, how she played a role so well she forgot it was a performance. How grief became more real than the love it was supposed to honor. In this chair, I've learned that we all wear masks, play parts, the devoted wife, the grieving widow, the perfect mother. But sometimes the mask becomes the face, the performance becomes the truth. And sometimes it takes a pair of scissors to cut away who we think we're supposed to be and find who we really are underneath. Victoria taught me that. She walked in as a widow mourning a fiction. She left as a woman facing the truth. And in the end, that's the only transformation that really matters. The pearls? I kept one. A reminder that sometimes the most beautiful things are built on lies, and that sometimes you have to destroy something perfect to find something real.